Hi everyone, it's Lynn Terry of TravelingLowCarb.com and also host of the 90-Day Low Carb Challenge. And so I wanted to pop in and just do some Q&A, answer some questions. There are a lot of really great questions. In fact, in the last live session that I did, we were talking about hidden sneaky carbs. And I've actually posted an update at TravelingLowCarb.com, which is my blog. That's where I post all the good information, my daily food diaries, good ideas for eating low carb at restaurants and things like that. So I just published an update at TravelingLowCarb.com regarding the carb count of Starbucks iced coffees and iced teas. And in my last video, I did, talk about, just a regular black brewed coffee, which, by the way, they don't put sugar water in those. Anyway, for the full update, make sure you see that post because I did add some corrections in there. And I thought we'd do some more fun questions, low carb Q&A, and we'll kick off with one of the most popular questions that I get. And feel free to post your question, and I'll answer them live while we're here. Anyway, so one of the most popular questions I get asked about is, what about sodium? Are you concerned at all about the amount of sodium in your foods? It seems like a low-carb diet is very high sodium. And the fact is that you don't really have to worry about sodium so much. The quality of or the nutrition value of the foods that you choose to eat is very important. However, sodium is one of those things you can't go low carb and low sodium. And to explain why, there's a science behind the way the low carb diet works. And so when you limit your carbs super low, it puts your body in ketosis, which has a diuretic effect. And so if you go low sodium, you're actually, with the diuretic effect of ketosis, it's flushing out electrolytes and sodium for you. So it has that diuretic effect already, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you were to go low sodium and low carb, you would experience extreme headaches, extreme painful leg cramps. And some of these symptoms are actually similar to water intoxication. So that's another thing that you really have to be aware of. And another big question that I get asked all the time is, how much water should you drink? And the answer to that one is extremely simple. And I have a link for that, but I can't give it to you while I'm doing this chat. So I'll have to, just if you ask, how much water should I drink in the text there, if you ask that question, then I'll come back and I will post the link. But I'll answer the question here. There's no way to know, like by ounces, exactly how much water you should drink. So the only real indicator is the color of your urine. So just to get technical. So your urine should be pale yellow. Any darker, and you need to drink more water. Any lighter or clear, you need to drink less water. So if your urine is clear, you're drinking too much water and you're flushing out electrolytes and sodium, which will cause headaches and leg cramps. So if you're experiencing leg cramps constantly on a ketogenic diet, definitely the first thing you want to check is, am I getting enough sodium? Am I drinking too much water? So those are the first two things that you definitely want to check. Yes, it's possible to drink too much water. You can actually drown yourself from the inside out. It's called water intoxication, and it's pretty serious. There have been deaths and extreme illnesses linked to like water drinking contests. That's why I'm so concerned, when people start doing water bombs. You've probably heard of that, like especially in the low carb groups or even in our low carb challenge group, you've heard of people doing water bombs or drinking half your body weight in ounces of water. Depending on what your body weight is, that could get you in some trouble. So if you are experiencing leg cramps, a couple of things. Number one, during the process of getting into ketosis, when you're going through the keto flu, which is the process of when you limit your carbs down and you force your body into ketosis so you're burning fat for energy, that causes you to have keto flu, which for me lasts 2 to 3 days at the most. During that period of time, it's typical to have headaches and leg cramps because of the diuretic effect. The quickest, easiest solution is to drink chicken broth. I like Campbell's chicken broth, the old-fashioned condensed chicken broth in the can like your mother cooked with. And I mix it, instead of like, you're supposed to mix it, I think, half and half with water, but I don't mix it quite 1 to 1, more like 1 to half or something and make it a little bit stronger. And add a tablespoon of butter. It makes it really rich. And you should drink it hot out of a mug like you would drink coffee. So the chicken broth, don't get low sodium. The chicken broth replaces the sodium and electrolytes that you flushed out of your body during the diuretic process of getting into ketosis, or if you drank too much water and it caused you to have leg cramps and headaches. So drinking a hot cup of chicken broth. Some people say drink pickle juice. I prefer a cup of chicken broth. That's just me. It's also very soothing late at night. And the weirdest thing, I know this is going to sound random, but late at night, when you're winding down for the evening or whatever, and you have a nice, hot, rich cup of chicken broth and you're sipping on that, it actually, for me, kills sugar cravings. I don't know why. Go figure. But you know how it is late at night when you're thinking, you might like to have a little piece of chocolate or this or that or whatever. That nice, rich, hot cup of chicken broth does the trick, surprisingly. So those are a couple of the most common questions that I get on a regular basis in regards to the low-carb diet, as far as how much water should I drink, what about sodium, are you concerned with sodium, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully that helps clear some things up for you. I get lots more questions. Probably one of the most common questions I get is, why am I not losing weight? And I always end up having to answer that question with a question, because there are so many variables at play. It depends on a lot of things. And so I have some posts on that as well. So if you're struggling with weight loss, if you're in a stall, I do have some posts on my blog about the 4 things that you should check first. And also what I recommend, the 3I Max method, that's 3 ingredients max method, is a great stall breaker. So if you are experiencing a weight loss stall, or if you feel like you're not losing weight as fast as you should, which that's a whole nother thing in your mind, just leave a comment and ask for that link, and I'll come back and pop the link in there to make sure that you have it. So in case you came in late, I was saying in my last live Q&A session, I was talking about sneaky hidden carbs. And we talked a lot about Starbucks and how they add sugar by default to iced coffees and iced teas on their menu. And so I have posted an update with some corrections at travelinglowcarb.com, so you can go and check that out at the website. And I put the website in the link here in this post to make that easy for you. So when you say please give the link, Tinny, I might mention lots of different links, so let me know if you're looking for, like if you're having a weight loss stall, or if you're looking for the link to the Starbucks post, or if you're looking for the link to the 3I Max stall breaker method. So just make sure you let me know, because I got really confused last time when we did this live Q&A, and then I came back in and I answered like 100 questions. And somebody said, give me the link, and I was like, I don't know if they want the low-carb vegetable list or which link they want. So I want to make sure that I can answer you correctly. Anyway, it's been a really long day here. I'm in Middle Tennessee, and super hot. We're having a very hot week this week here in Tennessee. And I got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I had to work. What is today? Yeah, it's Monday. It was a typical Monday. So I had to work, and so I didn't get to post my breakfast, which normally I post my breakfast every day on Instagram at instagram.com/lowcarbtraveler, and also here on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/lowcarbtraveler. Anyway, I didn't get a chance to post it. It was such a busy Monday. I had some consulting, a live case study to conduct, and, like real job work. So what I had this morning for breakfast was kind of weird. Because I had to eat at my desk, I had to eat in a rush, didn't really have time to cook or fuss with dishes or anything like that. So I grabbed half a cup of pecans, and I measured it out on my kitchen scale, 60 grams. I had half a cup of pecan halves with 2 ounces of kosher cream cheese, which is lower in carbs than regular cream cheese. And you know what I just discovered is Philadelphia kosher cream cheese is only available during Passover. However, that's like in April. However, my store had this big stock of it recently, so I got some and I stocked up on it. It's gone now, but I found another version of Philadelphia cream cheese, not their regular version, which is higher in carbs per ounce, but it just is a kind of a blue and gray package instead of just a gray package, and it says 5 ingredients, so it has less ingredients. It's the same as the kosher Philadelphia brand kosher cream cheese, and it's less than 1 carb per ounce instead of 2 carbs per ounce, which makes a big difference. Anyway, just a little update for you there. Look for that in your grocery store. It just says 5 ingredients on it, and it's a lot lower in carbs. So this morning, I had 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 2 ounces of cream cheese on a plate, just threw it on a plate with half a cup of pecans, and I just dipped the pecans in the cream cheese and peanut butter and drank some water and got on with my day and had my coffee, of course. And so anyway, I had a super busy day, and then I slept most of the afternoon because I got up at 4 this morning, so that's why I'm up late. So when I got up, I had eggs. You know, my favorite cheesy eggs. I made 4 eggs, scrambled in real butter with Colby Jack cheese, which I cubed off the block. And I can't eat that all in one sitting, and so, but I ate most of it, and then I finished the rest of it later because I had some consulting to do tonight. Anyway, so I have this little thing where I had the doors open earlier that's flying around that's driving me bonkers. Sorry. All right, so questions, comments. Hopefully the questions I answered regarding sodium and how much water you should drink, hopefully those prove helpful to you, because those are some of the most common questions that I get, you know, in regards to the low-carb diet. That and, of course, weight loss. Tracy said, what are your macros? My macros are the same as the macros of the challenge and the macros I recommend to everyone that wants to do a healthy ketogenic low-carb diet. My macros are 20 net carbs max and 70% fat minimum. So you also want to limit protein to 25% of your total daily calories. However, that pretty much takes care of itself. If you do 20 net carbs max, 70% fat minimum, and keep it that simple, the protein pretty much takes care of itself. Now, the thing that gets really confusing is when you try to go by grams, and you just can't do that. So if you're trying to track by grams, like so many grams of fat, so many grams of protein, etc., that won't work. And the reason is because some proteins are also fats. So you take an egg, for example. An egg is 50% protein, 50% fat. So going by grams is not going to work. Salmon, there's protein in nuts, which are also healthy fats, etc. And so you must go by percentages or ratios. And that's why I say just keep it super simple and do 20 net carbs max, 70% fat minimum. And you can go 80, 85% fat. You know, healthy fats are good. Like, I don't really add a lot of fats to my food. Like, I don't do BPC or eat coconut oil off a spoon or eat a stick of butter or suck the bottom out of a jar of mayonnaise or anything like that. But basically eat a lot of things like pecans, walnuts, salmon. Salmon, by the way, is a nice fatty fish, and it has lots of good nutritional value. Whereas the other fishes, like whitefish, is all protein and no fat. So anyway, avocado, which is kind of like butter. It's a very good source of fiber. It's a very good source of both magnesium and potassium. In fact, did you know an avocado has more potassium than a banana? So I had this conversation with someone recently because they're like, well, I have to eat a banana because I go to the gym, so I need that potassium. And I'm like, did you know an avocado has more potassium than a banana? You know, the same thing I just said just now. And they said, yes, but you can't exactly peel and eat an avocado at the gym. I'm like, good point, except why would you eat at the gym? Gross. I mean, that is like the grossest, sweatiest, germiest, nastiest place to want to eat food. And I see it happen. I've actually been to a gym, believe it or not. I prefer to work out at home. I prefer to work out like outside, you know, go hiking, do my tricep dips on a fallen tree, whatever. But if you go to a gym, like you'll see people eating bananas or mixing protein shakes. And I'm like, oh, there's no way. I realize I'm a bit of a germaphobe, but of all places, I mean, you might as well go make your lunch in a public bathroom, in my opinion. So, you know, that was not a valid argument in my opinion. Like, eat before you go or eat when you leave. Speaking of, so the topic of protein powder has come up. Debbie thought that was funny. The topic of protein powder has come up in the low carb group recently. And I was very curious about this because I didn't understand why anybody would use it or take it or use it or cook with it or whatever. Sorry, I have a wardrobe malfunction there. Anyway, so this topic came up in the low carb group, so let's bring that up real quick. So protein powder was designed for and is used by weightlifting bodybuilders as a source of muscle recovery. So it's used after weightlifting for muscle recovery. There's no reason to use or take protein powder or make anything with it on a low-carb diet, especially for women and women our age. I say our age. I know we're all different ages, but I do have demographics on the group, so I kind of know what our age range is. But on a low-carb diet, and honestly on any diet, you want to limit your protein to 25% of your total daily calories or less. And the reason is because if you eat a high-protein diet, that's when you start getting into things like kidney problems, kidney stones, urinary tract and problems and things like that you want to avoid. I'm not a doctor, but you can Google that. But you definitely don't want to do a high-protein diet. And when I see people say, oh, I'm doing a low-carb, high-protein diet, I'm thinking, hey, how are your kidneys? Like that concerns me. Not being a doctor, and, I have disclosures and disclaimers, in the pinned post in the Low-Carb Challenge group and also on my site at travelinglowcarb.com. But it always concerns me when I'll see people eating too much protein or not eating a keto diet correctly or drinking too much water and showing signs of early water intoxication. That stuff scares me and concerns me. So I like coming on here and answering your questions and just kind of, distilling some of the myths around there, like, well, you should drink half your body weight in water. Like if you take someone like, well, it just depends on your body weight. That could be dangerous. Tracy says, do you take supplements like magnesium? I do not. However, there's sources of magnesium and potassium. Like, for example, I have a whole list on a post called Healthy Fats and Superfoods. So there are certain superfoods. So eating a lot of salmon, avocado, and mushrooms are a good source of potassium and magnesium. So I just recently started trying to take a multivitamin. I've never taken supplements before. And I have to say, as a disclosure, because, this is my group, do not take supplements based on something you read on the internet. You need to ask your doctor. You need to consult your doctor about any medication or supplements or vitamins or anything you're taking and the combinations of those things. So when you go see your doctor, you need to take like everything with you that you're taking, and they ask you to do that. Bring your prescriptions, supplements, vitamins, anything you take on a regular basis. So at any rate, that's not something I can advise you to do. I think you should try to get as much of your nutrition from food as humanly possible. All right, so the question, do you count calories? No. I see them because I track everything in MyFitnessPal, and of course you can see them in my food diaries at travelinglowcarb.com. So you can see that I consume anywhere from, either I have low days where I'll eat, around the 1,1600 mark of calories. But more often than not, my days are 18 to over 2,000 calories a day. So no, I don't count calories. I've never had to. And the reason is because this is not a calorie deficit-based diet. There is a science to the way the low-carb diet works, and it's based in food combining. So there's science to it, which I love. I'm a science geek. Anyway, my point is that if you keep it that simple, 20 net carbs max, 70% fat minimum. And there are some, controversies about the whole, watching the calories, not watching the calories. Atkins has even published some articles on when you should watch calories. But in the beginning, it is not something you should do. It's something that you might want to look at later, way later down in your weight loss journey. Debbie said, I've used protein powder when I'm on the go at work and don't have time to cook, but it's in addition to my fats and carbs. 1 kidney, so I keep it minimal. So I'm curious, though, why you would use protein powder and how you use it. Like, doesn't that require, like, shaking it up in a bottle or, like, making something with it? Or do you just, like, eat a scoop of it? And I'm thinking, like, what are the ingredients? I'm asking because I don't know. But why, like for me, if I'm on the go, like if I have to run out the door and get in the car, or like this morning when I had to get straight to work and be at my desk, I measured out 60 grams of pecans. I grabbed some peanut butter and I used one of those measuring things for 2 tablespoons. And I just dipped the pecans in the peanut butter, and that's like plenty of protein right there. But even if I just, a lot of times just eat pecans, that's so easy. It's not messy. I can eat it in the car. I can eat it at my desk or what have you. So I'm just curious, what is it you're doing with the protein powder exactly? And of course, keeping in mind, you're probably going to get plenty of protein by the end of the day. Since you want to limit it, you don't want to eat high protein. Let's see here. So as far as calories, like I said, you can see my calories when I publish my food diaries. And there's years worth of food diaries at travelinglowcarb.com. And Kimmy Ann said calories in, calories out. That's if you want to do a calorie-based diet, you want to go low calorie and low fat. That's definitely not the same as a low-carb, ketogenic low-carb diet. So that would be a totally different way of eating. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to count calories. I don't want to go low fat. I don't want to have to worry about every gram of this or every gram or point of that or, blah, 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 or do without. I love the ketogenic low carb diet because there are so many rich, beautiful foods you can enjoy, like fried avocado or, what have you. It's so good. Debbie said I take an extra bottle of water with me because it helps get the extra water down too. Okay. Let's see. So you mix the powder into it. Trying to eat anything with my hands at work, they're always dirty. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. So that's very interesting. Like I said, I have not, tried any kind of protein powders. I know some of them you have to really watch the carb counts on. But if it fills you up, I'm assuming you do it as a meal replacement. Yes. Okay, so you could easily do BPC or bulletproof coffee. I don't know if you drink coffee or tea or whatever. Speaking of, I did a correction on the Starbucks talk that we did in my last live video. So you'll find that about the hidden sugar, like there are 30 grams of sugar in an iced coffee or an iced tea. And I'm talking, if you go through Starbucks drive through and you just order a black iced coffee or a black iced tea or whatever, it's going to have 30 grams of sugar. A venti size will have 30 grams of sugar. But I published some corrections to that at travelinglowcarb.com. Let's see. Sherry said, I've been doing low carb for over a year now. I've lost 70 pounds, but I've been stalled for several months now and can't seem to bust through. Any suggestions? I think that's a very good question. So that happens sometimes. So the first thing is, how are you tracking? And are you consistently doing 20 net carbs max, 70% fat minimum? And if you are tracking and you are doing those macros, my first piece of advice would be to increase your healthy fats. And I don't mean empty calories with no nutritional value. I mean increase your healthy fats like avocado, salmon, pecans, things with nutritional value to 80 to 85%. So that's the first thing I would recommend is you bump your fat up. The second thing that I would recommend is that you cut out any processed foods like bars or shakes or protein powder, anything at all that's processed, including processed meats like smoked sausage. A lot of times that will stall my weight loss, and I don't know why. But cut out anything processed at all and go real food only. So try this for 2 straight weeks. Real food, super simple, 3 ingredients max. So 3 to 4 ingredients at the most on any given plate, snack or meal or whatever. So for example, steamed broccoli and things that don't count would be like olive oil, butter, mayonnaise, salt, things with no nutritional value. Coconut oil, olive oil, whatever. Anyway, an example would be grilled salmon, steamed broccoli, and you could put butter and stuff on that, and avocado slices. 3 ingredients. All real food, nothing processed. Try that for 2 weeks. It's called the 3I Max method. And cut out, the first things to cut out if your weight loss is stalling, and this makes me sad, would be cheese, nuts, and cream cheese. And so for 2 weeks, cut out cream cheese, nuts, and cheese. If you're drinking bulletproof coffee on a regular basis, try cutting that out and just drink regular coffee. Some people, everybody has different experiences with that. Some people like melt weight off drinking BPC or bulletproof coffee. I actually gained weight doing it. Go figure. I'm an anomaly. I'm a very slow loser. However, I've lost a lot of weight. I was watching a really good video on YouTube the other day, and he was talking about credibility. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. And it's very interesting because a lot of the people that I follow on Instagram, they've got these fit bodies, and they're looking all hot and amazing, and they're in the gym and all this kind of stuff. And he was kind of talking about, warning about that. And he said, before you, let's say, hire a fitness trainer, or hire a nutritionist, or hire a coach or a mentor, or be careful who you follow, is what he was saying. And he said that he has to go look for them on YouTube or find them on Facebook and find a video of them in order to make sure that they're walking the talk. And I think that's important too. I got kind of burned recently when I bought like a keto like cookbook thing, and I was like, I don't know, it sounded good, it looked good, and I was like, I might want to learn to cook a few new dishes or whatever. And I did not research the person I bought it from at all. And the recipes were not keto friendly. I'm thinking, if this person thinks they're eating keto, I need to see what's going on here. But I'm hoping that by me hopping on here on video live, and this is live, I'm sitting right here in my dining room, and I'm hoping by doing that you can see I can't Photoshop myself when I'm live. So I am walking the talk. I am staying keto, eating keto, even when I haven't published my food diaries the last few days or the last week or so since my last trip, but that's because I've been super busy with work. So instead, since I haven't been able to do that, I've been trying to pop in here and do Q&A and answer questions and things like that. Anyway, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think it was kind of a really good point to me. I guess you can't see that much of me. Like, I can stand up a little bit so you can see here I'm wearing kind of a big t-shirt. But I've lost about 63 pounds. And so I still have some toning to do, and I think I have 7 to 10 pounds left of actual body fat to burn, and then I'm working on building muscle from there. I'm 44 years old, by the way. I'm short-ish. I'm 5'4", and very long-legged and short-waisted. So all of my weight was like right in here, like, it was kind of crazy or whatever. But I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. Even when my scales don't move and I'm not losing weight, and that happens to me, I'm a slow loser and I go through long periods where my scales don't move, but I feel better than I ever have. And I know that if I eat off plan, like to spite my scales, which is kind of crazy because the scales do not have feelings, but, that I'm going to feel miserable, and I don't want to feel miserable anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. Self-sabotage, self-punishment. What I thought I was rewarding myself was lying to myself is what I was doing. I'm over that completely. I like feeling good. So I don't care what the scales say. Keto for life. Let's see here. There's, Kimmy said, what I was asking, do you think you have to burn calories in, calories out to lose on low carb, like exercise? Oh, no. No. I actually did a test on this a few years ago. I don't think I've ever really told you guys about that or published any other results. But a few years ago, I did a test. So I had a gym membership. I paid for a gym membership. Those can be expensive. And I spent 4 to 5 hours a week in the gym doing strictly cardio, not weightlifting or any kind of toning, but strictly like hardcore cardio, like an hour at a time, 4 to 5 times a week, drenched in sweat, whatever. And so I tested this on low carb and I tested it off low carb because I just wanted to see, can I burn the calories off and exercise myself skinny eating regular food. And so I lost weight working out while I was eating low carb. I lost weight not working out while I was eating low carb. I did not lose weight working out, not eating low carb. Did that make sense? Those are the official results of my tests. So cardio is kind of useless. The cardio I enjoy is hiking because it's fun, and walking with my Great Dane because I love spending that time with him. But what you really want to do is muscle building, using your own body weight. So like doing tricep dips. And I'll tell you a secret too. Like if you want to make the most difference in the way you look, the fastest, start with the little muscles. So your triceps are super easy. Tricep dips, like you can do those like super fast anywhere. In between walking from one end of the house to the other, just stop somewhere and do 10 or 20 tricep dips. So the arms and the calves, those are the muscles that show, right? Like when you're wearing short sleeves, or when you're even if you're wearing a long skirt, it's the calves and the arms that show. So if you want to make the most visual difference the fastest in your body, work on those first. That would be my advice. But so as far as burning calories with cardio, no, that's not necessary because we're not in a calorie deficit diet with the low carb, high fat diet. However, it's good for you. Cardio is good for your heart. And it's like I said, I love hiking. I love to sweat it out. It's good for your stress level. It's good for anxiety. I love walking with my Great Dane, or we'll even do intermittent jogging and walking. And we walk I'm all legs and so is he. He's a Great Dane. And so between the two of us, we've got a serious stride. We can pull, when I'm in a really bad mood or ticked off about something, we can pull 3 or 4 miles in 42 minutes. So we're passing joggers on the side of the road. Anyway, my point being, I enjoy that and it's good for the heart. But if you want to build muscle, you don't use cardio. You want to use body weights. You want to do push-ups. You want to do, crunches. You want to do ab rolls. You want to do tricep dips, that kind of thing. That's going to build lean muscle. Now, the more lean muscle you have on your body, the lean muscle itself will burn calories. So that's something to know that I learned recently. Tracy said, how long have you been doing low carb and when did you go to keto? I've been doing a ketogenic version of low carb from the start. I've been doing I went low carb 6.5 years ago, April 2011. I'm the host of this group, by the way, 90daylowcarbchallenge.com. And so for those of you who haven't met me yet or don't know me, and so a lot of people are like, oh, who are you? Well, I run this group. Anyway, so it's nice to meet you. Anyway, so 6.5 years, and I've always done the ketogenic version of the low-carb diet. So there are different levels of low carb. So some diabetics, for example, might eat 100 carbs a day. That's lower carb than a basic standard diet, but it's not a ketogenic low-carb diet. So the challenge is to do a ketogenic low-carb diet. There's no difference between low carb and keto. Keto is low carb. However, low carb, there can be different variations of that are not ketogenic or where you're not in ketosis. So being in ketosis has tons of health benefits. So it's been known to minimize or even stop seizures. Ketosis has been known to help people reverse or at least control diabetes. It's been known to help people get off of all kinds of like blood pressure or different kinds of cholesterol, heart medication. It gets you out of chronic pain. That's the big benefit for me personally. So carbs and sugar promote inflammation in the body. So if you have inflammatory arthritis, fibromyalgia, any kind of inflammatory chronic pain, being and staying in ketosis is the best thing you can do for yourself. Because I was like practically bedridden a good portion of the time in chronic pain myself because I was in an accident. So I have inflammatory arthritis in my lower back. So it causes sciatica, which then flares up into fibromyalgia type symptoms. So I went low carb, the ketogenic version of low carb, 20 net carbs max, 70% fat minimum, and all of a sudden I was out of pain. And I didn't know why at first until I researched it and discovered it. But I got back up on a water ski for the first time in 23 years. I'm hiking, I'm dancing, I'm wearing 5-inch heels. These are not things that someone with a chronic lower back pain or fibromyalgia can do. I'm rock climbing, I'm back to living a fun, active lifestyle again. And that's all because of keto. Tim and Rebecca said, did you ever drink Diet Coke? Yes. And when I first went low carb, I, did whatever it took to make the transition, from my regular life to low carb. So in the beginning, I used Splenda in my coffee, which I lovingly refer to as rat poison. I'm not a food snob, and I will be the last person to judge you. I don't use it anymore. But I drank probably 4 to 6 Diet Cokes a day. I ate a lot of bacon, which there's nothing wrong with bacon. Bacon has 7 carbs per pound, though. So if you're like me and you're like a binge eater or an emotional eater, back when I first started low carb, I could put away a pound of bacon and thought it was 0 carbs. So anyway, I really eat a lot healthier now, but I think that the health nut in your head will kind of kick in the longer you're on this journey. As you get closer to your goal weight and weight loss is less of the focus, you start to become, because you're having to read labels and you're having to be aware of your carb count and track your food, you start really becoming aware of the nutritional value of your food and what you're putting in your body. And again, that's not to say that I'm a food snob. I mean, I'll still have, sometimes if I'm having a bunless burger, you know, or something that's kind of feels like fast food or junk food, sometimes I still like to have a Diet Coke. I can't drink a whole one anymore, but, you know, sometimes a few sips of that is nice. I don't have any problem with that. It's 0 carbs. I'm not saying it's good for you, but then, you know, like I said, I'm not a food snob. Let's see, Debbie said, this is why I love doing your low carb high fat group. 2 years in the gym with a personal trainer, I lost nothing. Following you on this plan, I lost 60 pounds over 6 or 8 months. That hadn't been able to touch in over 10 years. Wow, Debbie. Yeah, it's shocking. It's amazing. Like the things that we think are healthy or think will help us lose weight don't always necessarily work. Debbie said it eliminated my joint pain and headaches. Oh, you know what? That's another thing. I had chronic migraines. I don't have those anymore. And I have a metal plate and 2 screws in my jaw, so anytime the barometric pressure would rise or drop dramatically, like if a storm was rolling in, or a cold front, or any front really, I would get instant migraines. I don't get those on a keto diet, which, yay, because migraines are debilitating. Let's see here. Tracy said, I see you have the keto crate in the background. What kind of quick bars or snacks do you carry with you that are keto? I know you like your pecans, but what else? My favorite right now, and it changes sometimes, my current favorite because of the ingredients is the ketobrownie.com. And it's not a brownie. It is the Keto Brownie Nutrition Bar. It has no sugar alcohol, and that's the reason I really like it. I also like sticky bars. And if you will say, link for sticky bars in the comments there, I'll come back and give you the link for it, because there are 4, but I only like 3 of them. And they're really good. They're gluten-free. They're made with extremely good ingredients, something you can feel good about eating, and they're also delicious. And they have no sugar alcohol, too. So there's the only 2 bars I know of for sure that taste amazingly great, have a really good texture, made with high-quality ingredients, and don't have sugar alcohol. I have to kind of be careful with sugar alcohol because, well, how many of you have ever had something like Russell Stover's candy and you know how it affects your stomach, right? So if you have like a hot date tomorrow, you do not want to like binge on a bag of Russell Stover's today or tonight. It can really upset your stomach. But yeah, Sticky Bars is one of the products that I reviewed for Nutrition. I do a lot of reviews for Nutrition, and actually it's time for me to do another review for them. So if you have something specific that you would like for me to review or a type of low-carb food, I'm happy to be your Mikey. Let me tell you, the one review I did for you guys, everybody wanted to know about the low-carb oatmeal, was so bad. I was like, oh, I can't even believe I'm trying to make myself eat this. I still shudder, literally, when I think about that. Low-carb oatmeal was so bad. And I'm very candid with my reviews. I'm going to tell you, don't waste your money on this, I wouldn't recommend that, et cetera, et cetera. Let me scroll here just a second. And by the way, Tracy, I do love the Keto Crate. And the September Keto Crate has now sold out. For those of you that were curious about that, it is sold out. But so the October Keto Crate is shipping next. And if you're interested, you can go to my blog at travelinglowcarb.com. I put the link here in this post. And you can see what all is in the September Keto Crate. And at the bottom of that post, I linked to like a year's worth of boxes if you're kind of curious what types of products to expect. Or if you want to just sign up, my link is travelinglowcarb.com/keto box, or just crate, Krate. All right, let's see. But yeah, I like pecans. They're a great go-to snack. As far as bars, those are 2 bars I really like. You can only order them online. In a pinch, I'll stop at Walgreens or somewhere and get Atkins bars, but I can only really stomach the peanut butter granola Atkins bars. I don't like the fake chocolate or I don't really like chocolate type stuff like that. But the keto brownie is like a rich cocoa flavor. It's not like a fake chocolate or a waxy chocolate. It's a really good chewy bar. Anyway, let's see here. But I do love the Keto Crate. I guess you guys know that. Like, I'm a huge fan. Let's see. Lauren said, my mom wants to start the low-carb lifestyle but doesn't want to give up her wine every night. Won't that affect her weight loss? Doesn't alcohol stall you? That's a great question. There is low-carb wine, and the interesting thing is there's a couple of things to know about alcohol of any kind. Number one, if you're in ketosis, alcohol hits you harder and faster if you're, doing a low-carb diet than it does otherwise. So whatever your usual limit is, let's say that you just go low-carb or you just got into ketosis, and you decide to go out to the pub with your friends and you normally drink 3 beers or 3 glasses of wine or whatever your thing is, you would probably want to limit that the first couple of times till you find out what your new limit is, because in ketosis, like I said, alcohol hits you much harder and much faster than it does otherwise. So sip and see. That's my advice. People have reported blackouts from consuming their normal amount of alcohol, not realizing it would affect them differently. So to answer your question, the other thing is there are low-carb wines, there are low-carb beers, there are low-carb and zero-carb mixed drinks. I like rum and Diet Coke, Captain Morgan, and Diet Coke. I like rum and coffee. Like if I'm camping, and you want a nice hot coffee, so at the end of the day, like when you're sitting around the campfire in the fall or in the winter on a cold night in front of the fire, a decaf coffee with Captain Morgan rum and sugar-free vanilla and heavy cream, wowza. That's a nice drink. Or you don't have to use decaf. That depends, like I like to be wide awake when I'm drunk or whatever. I'm just saying, like when you're camping and it's late at night, you don't necessarily want to drink full coffee. But anyway, to answer your question, there are low-carb wines. But it would actually probably benefit her to find a low-carb wine and eat low-carb still. However, the thing as far as alcohol stall is that it metabolizes slower than food. So, and it takes a lot longer. So when you eat something, as a woman, it takes up to 72 hours minimum for you to metabolize your food. And so what you ate yesterday and what the scales say the next morning, that's not related, okay? It takes at least 72 hours for you to fully metabolize anything you eat. It takes longer for women than it does for men to metabolize their food. So anyway, it takes alcohol longer than that to metabolize, and your body has to metabolize the alcohol first. So everything else goes in queue behind that. So the body has to metabolize the alcohol first. So it can take, what I recommend is don't get on the scales for 3 to 5 days after you have a drink. So if you have a hot date on Friday night and you're planning on wearing a little black dress, my advice would be to skip the alcohol. If you're trying to get the scales to move super quick, or it's weigh-in day, or you're having a weight loss contest, something like that. So just some ideas for you. So does alcohol stall you? Not necessarily. I can drink Michelob Ultra beer if I'm out on the lake. I can drink rum and Diet Coke, if I'm out with friends or whatever. And that doesn't stall my weight loss, but it might, it might stall my weight loss for like 2 to 3 days. It doesn't like forever stall your weight loss. It just creates what's called the alcohol stall, in that it takes longer to metabolize than food. Let's see. Can I explain sugar alcohol? Sure. So artificial sweeteners like erythritol and mannitol and stevia, they all have what's called a sugar alcohol, and they upset the stomach. I don't know how to explain them really. They're all different. Like erythritol doesn't upset your stomach, whereas mannitol will kill my stomach. And everybody's different as far as how they process them. So the new thing that they're just really hitting hard with right now is called allulose, and they are required to label it as sugar, but you can subtract it like sugar alcohol. So this is kind of confusing a lot of people. Pardon me. My allergies are on full tilt. I'm in Tennessee, by the way. I also live in an agricultural area. It's like all like it's the nursery capital of the world, and that's trees and stuff, not babies. Anyway, point I was making. Oh, so the allulose is a brand new thing. It's just really hitting the market. It's really hitting the keto products hard. So most of you probably noticed it in the No Foods cookie, which is at travelinglowcarb.com/cookie. And if somebody could type that in there real quick, that would be great. So you can go and look at the nutrition facts. And you'll notice that it uses allulose. Here's the cool thing about that. It does not have sugar alcohol. It is very low carb. It does not have an aftertaste or a cooling effect. You know, I'm talking about that tingly feeling on your tongue when you eat something with erythritol in it. Allulose doesn't do that. So this cookie from No Foods is absolutely amazing. And they have a coupon code right now. The coupon code, and it's like, and you can mix and match anything on the site. It's not just for their starter packs. But that's only good tonight, by the way. And it's only good for maybe 2 more hours. The coupon code is all caps, I know better. Like literally, like all one word, but I know better in all caps. And that's go to travelinglowcarb.com/cookie. And that's on orders of $50 or more. So if you wanted to mix and match, like if you really loved that No cookie from Keto Crate and you want to order some more, you get 20% off with that coupon code, which is a good deal. Because I had like $75 worth of stuff in my cart, so it brought it down to $60. So that was a $15 savings. That's a really good deal. Oh, Carrie said, I just love your live videos. Keep them coming. Thank you so much. It's fun. I was just explaining, you know, I haven't really had a chance to blog this week and share my food diaries with you guys. So I thought because I was up late, I would just pop in here and kind of give you some updates and do some Q&A and things like that. And it's because I've been really busy with my day job, my work. Debbie said, you may have answered, but besides your coffee and water, what do you drink? That's about it. Every once in a while, I might have few sips of Diet Coke, and I have had unsweetened tea before, but I don't really like it that much. Mostly just water and my coffee. I love my coffee. Let's see. Denise had a question here. I tried the Coffee Mate hazelnut. Oh my gosh, I love that stuff. It is my one guilty pleasure, my major frankenfood. I call it frankenfood because it is not real food. But it is so good. So Denise said, I like the Coffee Mate hazelnut powdered creamer, but should I be concerned about the fake sugar in it? This is what we're talking about right here. It is 1 carb per tablespoon. You see that? So I use that in my coffee actually. And, anyway, so yeah, no, it's not real food, but look, I love my coffee. I like it creamy. I like it sweet. It's delicious. It's only 1 carb per tablespoon. I tried everything. I tried heavy cream and Splenda, heavy cream and stevia. I tried BPC. I tried just butter in my coffee. I tried black coffee. I tried everything, and I really like that Coffee Mate powdered sugar-free creamer. So it's my one guilty pleasure. Do I worry about it? I'm going to say no, but that's because I am, in general, eating so much healthier than I ever have in my entire life, ever. So having a little guilty pleasure now and then, and I might eat Russell Stover's dark chocolate mints now and then, or I eat the sausage at McDonald's. Do you have any idea like how much grief I get for that? Oh, there's like this and this ingredients in it. It's 1 carb per patty. I can't help it. It's all day, every day breakfast right now. So if I get hungry at 6 p.m. and I'm on the road driving from Tennessee to Toronto or from Tennessee to Marco Island, and it's 6 o'clock in the evening and McDonald's is on the only thing on the exit or whatever, and they have all day breakfast, I'm having sausage and eggs. You know, it's just easy, whatever. So I don't really sweat the small stuff. But there are other people who will say, you must be all organic, you must be perfect, you must not consume anything that is not like grass-fed or whatever. But that's almost impossible. We're talking about real life here, you know. So if you have a few things here and there that you enjoy or whatever, I don't see a problem with that as long as you're keeping your macros. Let's see. So no, I don't worry about it. I enjoy my coffee. Let's see. I would like to go black. That's like with my coffee, that would be like my next big adventure is to go to black coffee. I'm not sure. I might just have to quit coffee altogether when that happens. Sherry said, sorry, my computer froze, so I'm not sure if I missed you answering my question either, but can you explain what's the best way to figure out the percentage of fats needed in a day? It's the same for everybody. So it is 20 net carbs max, 70% fat minimum. And you can't do grams because some proteins are also healthy fat, so you can't go by grams. But so yeah, it's 20 net carbs max, 70% fat minimum. So there's no figuring it out. It's the same for everybody. It's a standard ketogenic diet. Carrie said, I just ordered my no cookies today. Can't wait to try them. You are going to love them. They're so good. And they're this big. They're huge. They're like a meal replacement. They're literally 400 calories. So I had one for breakfast with my coffee and couldn't even finish it. They're so good. Oh, that's travelinglowcarb.com/cookie. And like I said, if they have a coupon code, but it's only good tonight for a couple more hours, but it is for orders of $50 or more. So if you wanted to mix and match, if you really liked the cookie. And the only things, like you want to look at their carb counts and their stuff to make sure it fits in your macros. The only two things I found on there that I knew for sure would be low carb enough for me were the cookies, and they have come in 4 flavors, and their bars. So they have a chocolate chip bar that I'm anxious to try. So anyway, it's travelinglowcarb.com/cookie. That's my link. It'll tell them I sent you. And it takes you straight to the cookie page so you can see all 4 flavors. And you can see the ingredients, nutrition facts. They're 4 net carbs per huge cookie. It's like a meal replacement. So there's a bar for you, like something, you can take on the go. Anyway, the coupon code that's only good tonight is I know better, all caps. So I apologize if you're watching this later or watching the recording or the replay because that's time sensitive, that coupon code. Let's see here. Lauren said, I've read how some people try and eat no carbs all day and save them for dinner. How do you truly do that since things add up quicker than you think? I actually did a little experiment. I think it was 2 years ago, and I tried to go zero carb, like 10-day zero carb challenge just for myself, just to see. It's shocking the number of carbs. Like I would drink chicken broth. That's 1 carb per cup, like per 6 or 8 ounces. So like if I'm drinking like a large mug, that's like 2 carbs. Eggs are 0.4 carbs each. So if I'm having 3 eggs, that's 1.2 carbs, or yeah, 4 eggs is 2 carbs, whatever. Heavy whipping cream is 7 carbs per cup. So if you're drinking, black coffee with heavy cream, like it adds up. There's no way to truly do zero carb. And what people say is zero carb sometimes is shocking to me. I'm thinking, wow, because there are a lot of things that have carbs that people just don't realize. So, but I see it on Instagram all the time. They're like my zero carb dinner and they're having like broccoli. All right, let's see. As far as doing that, I say just eat and enjoy your life. Just enjoy a low carb lifestyle. Like trying to save up all your carbs for the end of the day or trying to do this or that, or that's like dieting and it gets really stressful to me. Like I don't like to do without. Kelly said, my turkey bacon says 0 carbs on the label, but you're saying bacon has carbs. Am I getting carbs? You're probably getting more carbs than you think. We all are. There's hidden carbs in everything. As far as turkey bacon, I don't know about that. Regular bacon is 7 carbs per pound. So if like heavy whipping cream, I don't care what your label says, is 1 carb for 2 tablespoons. It's 0.4 carbs per tablespoon, no matter what the label says, because they're labeling it based on serving size. So as a serving size of 1 tablespoon, it has less than 1 carb per serving. They can label it as 0 carb. Same with bacon. And so it'll say 0 carbs, but if you consume like a lot of servings of it, you might be getting trace carbs. I don't sweat the small stuff. But why would you eat turkey bacon? Is that a preference? And I only ask because Aaron, the guy I eat with a lot, he'll eat turkey bacon or turkey sausage, but he doesn't eat pork and beef. So, and that's a personal preference. I'm not judging you. But regular bacon is fine unless that's a personal preference. Carrie said, I have read your entire blog this week. Can you share why you think the weight came off so well in 2016 when you lost about 10 pounds? That's what I want to lose. That's because I got consistent. Because I stopped yo-yoing. I stopped going in and out of ketosis last year. Yeah, so I got down to 134.6 pounds, I think. That's the lowest my weight has been. And I'm a few pounds heavier now after I got sick the first quarter of this year. I was sick for 3.5 months, and I finally got well at the end of April. But after taking 3 or 4 different antibiotics, steroid shots, and everything else, I ended up with, even though I stayed on keto and in ketosis, I ended up with like about 6 or 7 pounds. I have to double check because I have my weigh in, so I'm under 142 right now. But like I'm a little 6 or 7 pounds heavier than I was. Anyway, but not eating any different. But it was just because I got and stayed consistent. I stopped going off plan. And I would do that every once in a while, every couple of months, every few months. Then I'd have to go back through keto flu, get back in ketosis. It would just throw me off track for a good month. It would take me weeks to lose the weight again that I put on during that. So, it's just not worth it going off plan. But that was where my success came from, was from getting consistent. Lauren said, do you eat fat bombs? I consider a handful of pecans a fat bomb. 60 grams of pecans is 85% healthy fat. So I consider that a fat bomb. I don't know are you talking about, like making candy? Like peanut butter and coconut oil and all that kind of I don't cook much, I can't be bothered to get in the kitchen a lot. But I eat high fat. I eat 70 to 80% of my daily calories in healthy fats. Lauren said, what's the best way to check if you're in ketosis? Do you have a strip brand that you like? I've never used the strips or sticks or anything. I can just tell that I'm in ketosis. So you're not bloated, the water weight's off, you feel keto lean, I'm out of pain. Being out of chronic pain is a pretty good indicator. So at any rate, these were some really great questions. I had a lot of fun, lots of good topics in this session. So I just want to say thanks for joining in and listening in. And if you have any questions, need any links, just leave a comment and I'll be sure to check back in and get you the information that you need. And would love to help you on your low carb journey, whatever that takes, whatever questions you have, whatever struggles you have, just leave a comment, like I said. And I'm pretty sure I probably have the link or the information you need or what have you. Tracy said, will 21 net carbs send you out of ketosis, or what is your magic number? No. So being like you don't want to have to be all crazy about it. So if you're at 78% or 69% fat and 21 net carbs, you just want to make it as close as you can. 20 net carbs max, 70% fat minimum, and if there's a little variation, that's not a big deal. But just make sure that it's from quality foods that are giving you the best nutritional value. That would be ideal. Although, like I said, I'm not a food snob, and I'm prone to stop at Walgreens and grab a Atkins bar if I'm on the road and I'm hungry. It happens. Anyway, have a great rest of the day or night. I'll see you back here the next time we do live Q&A. In the meantime, check in at travelinglowcarb.com for fun updates and our weight loss weigh-in for this week. I'm looking forward to that, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't lately, read the pinned post at the top of the group, or you can find the information at 90daylowcarbchallenge.com to make sure that you're getting all the good info for our group and for the low carb challenge in general. So I will see you guys back in the group and back at travelinglowcarb.com.